I'm Salad and I saw the Twilight Zone Season 1, Episode 8, Time Enough at Last. It is directed by John Brom, written by Rod Serling, and if you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. My previous exposure to this episode is when I was in freshman year. I was told this was the first episode of the Twilight Zone, like the pilot and everything, and then I come to watch this, and this is the 8th episode in the season. Was this previously a pilot that I don't know, and then like the order was switched or something? If you know, let me know in the comments, because this is always perplexed me. We have a guy who's really into reading. He has a job at a bank, and he's doing his job poorly because he's reading all the time. But he's trying to multitask, which is not good because you don't do either good if you try doing both at the same time. This is personal experience, and obviously this is what this guy is up to right now. Not doing any good job, not being any goodness to society currently. We have his boss man be like, yo, you're counting this lady's money wrong multiple times. As an audience member, I really like the way that the dialogue is set up. I know how long this guy has been reading. He just keeps on reading. He's so obsessed with reading. And honestly, I kind of relate to this when it comes to like drawing. Okay, so I so focused on drawing, like growing up, that I would, instead of like taking notes in class, I would just doodle all the time and then do homework and then doodle some more. You know, it was always in the pursuit of doodling. And I relate to this guy. This guy feels like in this episode that he doesn't have enough time to pursue reading, and he has a wife that hates his reading, and this is the 50s. All right, so I don't quite understand why they gotta be together if they're gonna be this way to each other. Like, it must be a cultural thing. Guy, I'm just saying, you could just like jumpstart on a movement right now, because you know I'm your time traveler friend, and I'm here to tell you that you should, instead of adhering to social norms, hear me out. You should instead just do whatever you want. See what happens. Just see what happens. I don't know. Just see what happens. I like it. So this guy is really into reading. He has a bad wife, in my opinion. I get it from the wife's perspective too. This guy is not a good guy. I mean, this guy is being selfish. I understand. I felt like really naturally inclined towards that guy's side of the story, because I'm like, yeah, he doesn't have enough time to read. Society sucks. But then, you know, you gotta look at it from a society perspective, from other people's perspective that isn't him. They gotta like do stuff. He has to be used to them. And if he's just gonna keep on reading, what good is reading got? No job is just a bunch of reading, right? Some of it is talking, most of it is talking, a lot of it is jobs of talking, right? Or at least like, you know, doing stuff, communication, doing stuff, communication. There is some degree of communication in all jobs. You can't just like read all the time, guy. And that's just what this guy wants to do, read all the time. He also wants to like dump all of his information onto other people without them asking. And I have an issue with this personally, because I've done it a lot, and I've never gotten good results from just dumping information without people just asking about it, you know? This guy seems a little bit under-socialized, but a fun thing that I noticed about this guy is he's so obsessed with reading is that he doesn't pay attention at all to the outside surrounding world that he lives in, like the society, any other person. He's just, I want to read, I want to read, I want to read, I have to do this thing, I want to read, I want to read. And he goes down to the vault, the bank vaults. This is established as a habit already, which I really appreciate. I like establishing habits and then following through with them and seeing the consequence of those habits. And so the consequence of him being in the bank vault again reading is there is an H-bomb I like the newspaper, just like the shot of the newspaper is just like chilling there, like, yo, H-bomb here, it's coming, and then BAM! A bunch of shaking, and then a lot of him being like, what is happening? And then like the entire like the other half of the episode where he's not at all reading. He's not reading at all. And it's like, okay, that's an interesting observation. So I think that he thought that he wanted to read all the time, and now he doesn't. He's like concerned about his survival and stuff. And it's only until like the end of the episode when he almost like shoots, like he takes a revolver and shoots stuff out of his brain. It shoots the knowledge out of his brain. He almost does that, and it takes looking at a library, and okay, you didn't dedicate yourself enough to reading. You know, I'm looking at this guy in the second half. I'm like, you said so much that you wanted to read, but now you're just looking around and you're noticing that you're alone and all your problems are gone, but now you have new problems and you're like, oh wow, I gotta deal with the fact that now I'm alone. Oh no, I'm alone, I'm alone. You're focusing on being alone before reading, and reading's like a second thought. And it's like, oh my goodness, yes, I remember, I can read. And then he gets all the books. And here's my favorite part. He has all the books and he says his fun monologue where it's like, hey, yo, this is exactly in words. This is not a joke, actually. This is 100% real. What happens in this episode is that he says, hey, I have all this time. Oh my goodness gracious, I can't believe it. Wow, I can't believe I have all this time. And now it's time to read. I have many years of reading stuffs to read. And then he sits down, right? And then he shatters his glasses. And at this moment, I'm like, got him! Karma! It's karma because he didn't pay attention to the people around him. He didn't find an effective way to read that also works with his schedule. He's just always trying to find a way to read and get out of working, so he doesn't do both correctly. And this, as a result, is karma. Very karmatic. If I'm using that word wrong, let me know. But I do mean that, like, he definitely deserved it. He deserved what he got, which is broken glasses, no one to fix them, and now he's stuck in the Twilight Zone. I really remember when I first saw this episode really liking it, and upon rewatch, I also really like it too as well. Also, I like this episode. I really like the use of space. I like the use of things within the space. It's a whole set piece. I like it. Oh, it's a UPS driver. Do I have a package? Oh, is he stopping at me? That'd be cool if he did. Ah. Looks like he's not. I don't got a package. Dang it. You ever feel that? You're like looking at them and you'll be like, oh, there's my package here, and it's not your package. Like, dang, I have to wait another day for my package. You probably relate. Anyway, so I really like the acting. Oh my goodness, the lead guy. His acting is mwah, mwah, mwah. I love his acting. It's great. It conveys everything that I want it to convey in this guy who is struggling through life, struggling to be able to read, and now he is struggling to read. I like this. So, I could talk about this all day, but I gotta have an end to this episode sometime. So, I gotta give this a solid 8 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another one. YouTube really likes that. If you want to fast track a movie review, you can do that for $20 deals at patreon.com/ASEPresents. And if you like to help support Daily Grind, follow them daily movie reviews, go to this link tree, find the way you can help support the Daily Grind and follow them daily movie reviews. So you can go here. And until next time, mint salad saw. I'll see you later, my style croutons and big bits.